Hello, everyone. Welcome to Session 2, The Homes of Hope Story by Sean Lambert. This week, we will be covering chapters 3 through 5. And my name is Denise Vernon. I appreciate you joining me today. I'm incredibly honored to have been asked to join this book study. And this is my very first book study at Lutheran Church of Hope. So you may be wondering, what is my connection to Homes of Hope? Well, in September of 2021, my husband and I had the opportunity to travel to the San Diego, Baja, Youth with a Mission, YWAM campuses for a weekend. This is my very first mission trip. Going into this, I knew we were to physically build a home for a deserving family. I knew the timeline was 2 days. I knew the weather report. I knew what to pack. What I didn't expect was just how deeply affected I would be from the entire experience. It still touches my heart in the most profound way. If I can describe my experience in one word, it'd be love. The undeniable amount of love. First and foremost from God, but also from the amazing staff, from the work crew, and of course, the sweet family we had the honor of helping. My husband and I never cried like that. These were continual flowing tears that would start at the morning prayer, move into the day as we built the home in this impoverished area, and the tears continued into the evening when people would share their own experiences with us. We heard heartfelt, personal stories of how God and YWAM changed their lives, but more so, how their lives were actually saved. We heard living in a safe and clean house made all the difference to staying healthy, keeping families together, going to school, having a job, being able to plan and look forward to the future. All of these are critically important in life, and something I took for granted because I was given all of these from my parents. As we review these next 3 chapters, we'll discover how Sean builds on a firm foundation where families will flourish and soon plant roots for future generations. So let's get started. So in chapter 3, it's titled God Will Make a Way. Sean is at the Los Angeles YWAM, and the director, John Dawson, is teaching about our missionary calling. He asks in class, what is your motivation for serving God? Is it to please people or to please God? That evening after class, Sean is in his room and following what the director had requested. He's asking, God, give me your heart for the world. He repeats this over and over. And that's when he's overwhelmed with emotion, falls to the floor and is crying. As Sean put it, he got a fresh download from the Holy Spirit of how much God loved the world he created. As at this time, Sean is at peace and that God accepted his offer to serve him as a full-time missionary. Sean learns of a 2-month field outreach in the northern part of Mexico. He, plus 25 staff and students, travel there. This is the first time he sees the Baja Desert and how the people are living. They're living in makeshift houses, built from scrap wood, tin, and just about anything they can find. They're using tarps for roofs, and their floors are made of dirt. Questions are swirling in his head. How can people live like this? How can they possibly be happy here? But to his surprise, people are happy. Despite their poverty, they are friendly and smiling. They are content with what they have versus what they do not have. Shortly after, Sean graduates from the Discipleship Training School, DTS. He continues his mission work by next going to Thailand to work with the Cambodian refugees. Their music and puppet shows were a diversion to help the refugees, and it also gave him the opportunity to show Christ's love. Sean soon leaves Thailand since he doesn't have the financial support needed to stay. He returns to YWAM Los Angeles, and this is when he reconnects with Janet Isaac. And it doesn't take long, they are soon married. Although they don't have much money, he knows God will provide for their future. Chapter 4 is titled Servant Leadership. Sean feels that he's called to leadership, and he wants to run the next school or take on some other important ministry role. But to his surprise, he's needed to work in the print shop. It's not what he wanted, but he works hard and learns valuable lessons from this job, especially about the power of communication, and he becomes a better listener. Shortly after, Janet and Sean feel a nudge to go in a new direction. They put together short-term mission trips for teenagers. They have a set goal of 600 youth each year, but only 30 participate. Yet, amid organizing these mission trips with low attendance, Sean hears God's Spirit telling him the goal to reach is now an incredible 1,000 youth per year. The breakthrough moment comes when he receives a call from his brother-in-law, who is a youth pastor. He's asked to design a mission trip for 40 kids. This reignites his idea of group-based trips, and that serving whole churches instead of individuals could be the key to reaching the ambitious goal of 1,000 participants. In his mind, Tijuana would be the perfect outreach location because it's only 3 hours from Los Angeles. Sean goes to Tijuana and soon meets Sergio Gomez, who has been building homes for the poor. Sergio was homeless as a child and sadly knows what it's like. Over the next year, Sean and Janet, with the help of Sergio, work to get more groups to Tijuana. It's on one of these trips they drive by an area of incredible poverty. On pages 33 and 34 of the book is one of my favorite parts. Sergio and Sean have a groundbreaking conversation that leaves Sean speechless. Sean asks Sergio, "Why would people want to live like this?" And Sergio responds, "They are smart. Most families have jobs and can afford a small apartment in the city. They know once they pay their rent, that money is gone forever. Here, they can buy some land, so they'll have something to pass on to their children." Sergio continues, "You see poor people, but I see fighters. I see committed families working hard for a better life. These are the people I am called to help. I have learned to focus on only helping those who show some initiative to help themselves. So, I wait to see who will buy land and then help those families." Sergio mentors Sean and helps him understand the poverty in this area and how to serve the poor. These people need help. Sean and Sergio both believe they were called to help them. They discuss how to build a simple house and what is included. The house will be funded by whatever group comes to build. The home is then given free of charge to a family that meets Sergio's criteria. A very simple method, but powerful. Sean could sense something special was about to happen in Tijuana. The next chapter, chapter 5, is called An Offering for Jesus. Over the next few years, their numbers increased from 80 participants to a remarkable 600 a year by using the group-based model. With more trips to Mexico, the discussion to move there comes up. They outgrew the Bible school they had been renting. Luckily, they found a 6,000 square foot outreach building in a section of Tijuana that was safe. Although the building was rough and without amenities, Sean saw the potential. It's later at a YWAM Los Angeles staff meeting that their director speaks of a special message from the Lord. He says in 2 weeks' time, we are to have a special offering for Jesus. 2 weeks later, they take an offering of an outstanding $2,000. Not bad for missionaries. They have several meetings to discuss what to do with the offering, but couldn't agree. Finally, Sean suggests a 2-day project to build a home for a needy family, and everyone agrees on this. Sergio helps by getting the materials for the build and finding a needy family. He finds a family of 5 who are living in a scrap wood shack with one small room, a tarp for a roof, no windows, a dirt floor, and no running water. When the 18 staffers arrive, they find a 16 by 20 foot concrete slab foundation that had been poured. There's a pile of wood and other building materials. Before they begin, they form a circle to bless the family and bless the house build. They break into different teams that are building trusses and walls. Others are painting the siding. The family of 5 joyfully work beside them. Sean's 3-year-old daughter Andrea had traveled with them, and during the build, she's playing with the little girls who live nearby. This particular family lives in an old, abandoned bus. And it's during this first day of the build that Sean's daughter tugs at his shirt and asks, "Daddy, are you going to build a house for the bus people too?" Those words from his little girl tug heavily on his heart and will continue until he later has an answer for her. On the second day, the staffers finish their build. To their amazement, standing in front of them is a house. they have a dedication ceremony and hand over the keys to the deserving family. It's an emotional moment with many crying. Together, they accomplish something greater than just one individual could. Afterwards, Sean reflects on the many occasions when somebody would ask, "What did you do this weekend?" The common response would be, "Nothing or not much." But on this weekend, he participated in something extraordinary. Because of their group efforts, they transformed the lives of an entire family. However, their lives were forever changed too, and they want to do this again. At the beginning, I mentioned I had the opportunity to participate in a YWAM weekend, just like Sean and the staffers had in Chapter 5. This is my Homes of Hope weekend, and together we did something extraordinary. In this picture is a simple house that Sergio mentioned. The drywall came in 4-foot wide pieces, so we built the home to be 16 by 20 feet. It has 3 windows, a door with a lock, 2 small 8 by 10 bedrooms, and a larger kitchen dining area. Our family was a single mother with 3 children, 17-year-old daughter, 9-year-old son, and a 4-year-old daughter. They worked right along with us. Through the help of a translator, we had conversations with the mother about her job, her family, what she cooked, and of course, about her soon-to-be new house. With the children, we talked about school, sports, hobbies, friends, and dreams. But dreams were the hardest part to talk about because they hadn't been given the opportunity to dream. They've only known survival mode. In this area, people live for the day. They don't know how to plan beyond tomorrow or 1 week from now. However, with building a house, we give them hope for the first time. They have hope for their future and the ability to dream, all because their basics were finally met. They have a concrete floor that will keep them dry and clean. They have solid walls and a roof to protect them from the elements. They have a nice bed with linens to sleep in for the first time. Although they don't have running water, they have a kitchen to better plan and prepare meals for the days ahead. This combination together prevents illness and is good for their overall well-being. And finally, they feel safe and secure. At our dedication ceremony, every person in our crew spoke about what the weekend meant to them and the hope they had for this deserving family. There wasn't a dry eye in the group. I was the last one in our group to speak, and I was the one to hand the keys to the mother, Alejandra. I was a crying mess, and I couldn't get the words out of my mouth. The whole experience affected me spiritually and emotionally. The love I had for this family was overwhelming, and I am beyond blessed to have been part of this transformational weekend. I truly look forward to returning again and again to help more families. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. And if the opportunity arises to build a house, I hope you say yes.